how is it that you can actually use social media to generate PR? Hi guys, my name is Deepak Shukla, founder at Pearl Lemon PR. We are a public relations agency based in the UK, USA, as well as Uganda. And here today in day number 30 or 39 days of public relations training, we're here to talk about using social media fundamentally to generate the PR. So before we get into it, feel free to click the link in the description below to get access to 11 additional strategies that we're not sharing in this training. So look, fundamentally, I really want to awaken awaken you to the reality that there's like a ton of opportunity when it comes to social media. First of all, let's talk about the platforms. So you've got LinkedIn, you've got Instagram. I mean, these platforms are going to grow and develop, by the way, there'll be more. You've got TikTok, you've got YouTube, you've got Twitter, of course, you've got Reddit, you've got Facebook. So let's go through those again, because these are just the ones off the top of my noggin, so to speak. LinkedIn, one, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Reddit, Facebook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 potential platforms that you can use to generate PR, okay? Because PR is also a big social media game. So the more traction you can build on any of these platforms, the easier it is for you to, I mean, and there's also bloody like Quora as another example, which is 8. So these are all social media platforms. They've all got a huge amount. I mean, there's Pinterest as well. They've got a huge amount of daily active users. And if you can work on your social game to develop a following on any of these platforms, then that's also a big way to think about going viral. So we currently are, of course, as you can see, depending upon where you're watching this, using YouTube as a platform to generate some traction and to position ourselves as an expert and to get views. Okay. So we're using both this as a social media tool as well as positioning ourselves as an expert. And then we're also using, and you'll find it on our channel if you go over, we're using YouTube Shorts, which are videos that are less than 60 seconds to produce content in relation to PR. We're also going to be then repurposing that content for TikTok. Okay. And then we might tweet about it. So there are, as you can see, one platform that we're using to then generate 4 different pieces of content. So in social media, they do something called repurposing, which is where you can use the same piece of content upon different platforms with a slight tweak or modification. So, and we're also running some ads on some of our other channels to help give the channel a bit of a bump and a bit of a boost. So if you think about what is possible on social, and if you can look at making a concerted effort on any platform of your choosing, it's really, I mean, it just makes sense as a long-term investment to begin thinking about what is it that I'm trying to do here? How is it that I can gain public notoriety? People have built whole careers based upon one platform upon which they went viral. And then as a consequence, there's so many, as you can, as you know, there's so many doors that open to you once you are able to cross that path of virality. And that's, a whole conversation in its own right, series. But the one fundamental, as Wayne Gretzky says, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Beginning the journey of consistent content production is a big part of ultimately PR, because you need content to then even go viral, and then you need to have a medium that you like to use consistently that can become your platform for generating all of the returns that you're looking for. So whether you do that as an individual, whether one of your team does that, I mean, the mechanics of it, aren't well, I say that they aren't important, but it's just about having a concerted and consistent strategy in place so that you can fundamentally use a medium or use multiple mediums to grow. And then as a consequence, there's all kinds of ways that you can leverage that for PR, because if you can become an influencer, people approach you, you approach people, and you do both of those things happen with the framing that, well, you know what? Deepak Shukla or Mandy Johnson or whoever it is a little bit of an influencer. Okay, so we talked about how to use influencers to land PR in our previous video. But if you become an influencer and you use social media, then people will start using you. And that's, in many respects, the nature of an exchange value relationship. So start thinking about, and again, this is something that Pearl M PR can help you with, but really start thinking about what is your social media strategy, because that's where the public are.